Welcome back to the Giant Monster Games 2017 Advent Calendar, where I go through and play every single deck that has ever been on the channel, going from the least popular to the most popular. Today's deck is number 8, and it is Blasting Zombies. Now, this deck didn't get voted very much because I don't think a lot of people know what is really going on with it. It is, for one, a zombie deck, so we do have cards like Diregraph Colossus and Cryptbreaker, which are just high-value zombie cards, but this is not what the deck is actually focused around. The deck is actually focused around cards like Gravecrawler and Reassembling Skeletons, which both have very strong graveyard recursion. Gravecrawler we can play out of our graveyard as long as we have a zombie in play, which we have a bunch of zombies, so this is not very hard. And Reassembling Skeleton we can pay at instant speed, which is really nice. Pay 2 mana, bring it back from our graveyard to the battlefield. It comes in play tapped, which it doesn't really matter for us. Now, what we're doing with these is why this deck is actually called Blasting Zombies, not just zombies or mono-black zombies, because we are running 2 cards that have a lot of value from this. It is Blasting Station and Zulaport Cutthroat. Blasting Station really is the special card in this combination because Zulaport Cutthroat, whenever a creature we control dies, we get to drain our opponent for 1 life, which is fun, but is not really the main objective of this deck. Blasting Station, on the other hand, is tap it, sacrifice creature. Blasting Station deals 1 damage to target creature and player. Now, as you can guess, we have Reassembling Skeleton and Gravecrawler, which come back from the graveyard really easy, and then whenever a creature comes into play, we may untap Blasting Station. Now, as you can probably see from this, we are aiming to get a ton of value by sacrificing our creatures and then bringing them back again and again and again. And a lot of times, as you can see with something like Diregraph Colossus, we actually get to make extra zombies as we're bringing back our zombies from the graveyard. So this is what the entire deck is focusing around. There's a bunch of other fun little synergies in the deck, but this is the key component, is blow up your opponent by blasting stationing their face and their creatures off the board. If you want to know more about this deck, like always, in the top right-hand corner, there is an entire deck tech video and some gameplay footage of how it works out, and in the link below this video. Also, if you want to pick this deck up for MTGO, there's also a link where you can go do that. It helps out the channel, and this deck is really fun, so I just highly recommend you doing that. Okay, let's pass it over to Adrian, who is going to play through this deck and show you how it actually works. And here we go, looking at all of our undead friends. I don't really want to keep a 1-land hand, I'm not gonna lie, but I think we can do it. We're on the draw, so we have 2 turns to draw another land. We are pretty land heavy. We only do 1 more land to start really doing our thing, so I think we go ahead and keep a 1-lander. Not gonna be the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Okay, we're playing against something red. Something red. Is it? It's not burn. Oh, there we go. We got another land. Okay, I got lucky. Okay, guys, I got lucky. So, it's not burn, otherwise he probably would. Well, he could burn our end step. Okay, so it's probably not burn. Could be something else. What the heck is this? Enters battlefield, tapped, becomes a 2/2 golem creature. So it's like a artifact creature-based deck, I'm guessing. We're gonna find out. This is something new. I haven't seen this before. I like seeing new brews, and hopefully this is something interesting. In the meantime, I think what we're going to do is run out a Smuggler's Copter. Could have done this on our second main phase, actually. Probably should have, but I didn't. I also, for the record, put my stop already on here, so I can remember to turn Smuggler's Copter into a creature before I go to attack phase. Something you need to do if you are playing Smuggler's Copter. Do this if you're playing on MTGO, otherwise there'll be regular, like a lot of games, regular amount of games, where you don't get to attack in with your Smuggler's Copter because you forgot to turn it into a creature. If you can't tell, I've been burnt on this a lot, like multiple times. It's happened way too many times. When I was recording this series originally, the Blasting Zombie series, there's like, I recorded like 3 or 4 videos where I did it like a bunch of times, and I'm just like, I'm not even gonna upload this. I'm not going to upload a game where I forgot to turn Smuggler's Copter into a creature more than once in a game. So he kicked this, enters the battlefield, charge counters on it, add mana equal to number of charges. Okay, so it was kicked twice. Does this add mana to your mana pool? Oh yeah, I guess it does. Neat. So that's a neat kind of way of ramping. If you need colorless mana, it's a good way of ramping. Very fun, very fun. Keep an eye on this. Again, no art, unfortunately, because my MTGO is exciting, I guess. And again, there's no point in playing Colossus yet, but I kind of want to at the same time. We could always play I think we're going to probably do Rotting Rats, pitching. I don't know. Haven't figured it out yet. Let's turn this guy to a creature, and then we'll swing in and loot. Because then we can always throw something into the graveyard and maybe get an extra counter on this guy. Possible. Completely possible. We have options, so let's use them. Beginning of combat. I turned him into the thing before, so it's okay for me. So, swinging in with Smuggling Copter. We are going to loot, because it is a May ability. We're always going to say yes. And we'll keep the swamp. I think that's okay. So, Colossus is, or Diregraph Colossus, is it enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter for each zombie in our graveyard. Whenever you cast a zombie spell, you get to create a black, 2/2 black zombie creature. So, I kind of wish we would have actually discarded the Gravecrawler, because he is a zombie. In the meantime, though, I think we're going to pitch Rotting Rats. Because we can play Rotting Rats next turn, which will be fine. Do 3 damage to our opponent. Go to second main phase, play a Diregraph Colossus, and then ship it to our opponent's turn. So he's coming in as a 3/3, 4/3, and then next turn we're going to play Rotting Rats, get another zombie, do a bunch of other stuff. That's how it's going to go. This is the plan, the game plan. Chandra, nice. So that's, it does X damage to each creature. Comes in with 4 counters, so in theory he can wipe our board right now. In theory, if he wants to. Instead he's going to create 2 red elemental creatures. They will be exiled at the end of the end turn. End of the end step, at his end step. So that's fun for him. Sort of. Sort of fun for him. He's going to swing in for 6 damage. I'm not blocking, because I don't really want to. Getting Zulaport Cutthroat doesn't help out here either. We need our Blood Artist. Blood Artist would make this lose a ton of value. So that's going to be our next major game plan here. In the meantime, though, play another Swamp. Play what? I think we play the Zulaport Cutthroat, Rotting Rats. Do we need to play Zulaport Cutthroat and Rotting Rats? Or do I attack in right now? I think I just attack in. So, attack in first, do other stuff second. So, Gravecrawler, you get to turn into a Flying Smuggling Copter. And then we're going to swing with these 2 guys. So, go to combat. Yes, begin combat phase. And he's going to, what, bolt the Copter? Yeah, bolting the Copter. Which is okay. Unfortunate, but okay. And we're in the combat phase, so we might as well go for it. We'll swing in with for 3 at Chandra, because I'd rather not deal with Chandra. Yep. Goodbye, Chandra. You can go away. By go away, I mean you go down to 2 loyalty. And then second main phase. I guess the second main phase gets to be Zulaport Cutthroat and Reassembling Skeletons. Because we can just toss Reassembling Skeletons in front of whatever elemental creature he makes with this guy. So then when our creature dies, we do a little bit to get a little value, get a block of stuff, which is always fun. And then we can just keep bringing back Reassembling Skeletons. Obviously, we don't get the triggers from Diregraph Colossus. Oh, he's playing something big. Wildfire. Each player sacrifices 4 lands. That's a thing. I did not think this was a Wildfire deck, but apparently it is. Well, that's a thing. That is a thing that happens. 4 lands and 4 damage to each creature. Well done, opponent. Did not see that coming. Wildfire. Well, that's a thing. At least I get to do some damage to him with Zulaport Cutthroat. And wow. Well, that's a thing. That is a thing. Who would have ever guessed? Who would have ever guessed? Well, we need to draw land. We need to draw 2 lands before we can do anything. Our pants are at our ankles. We have the pants down in the best possible way here. Worst possible way, maybe. Well, let's find out how this is gonna play out. Oh my. Well, that's not it. I think we just go to sideboard because it's gonna be 6-12. Wow, GG for our opponent. Let's just concede and go to the sideboard. Yeah, that's the way it's gonna be. Sideboarding this one up. Okay, so we need artifact removal, which we don't actually have, but we do have duress. which gets non-creature spells, which is fine for us. Ratchet Bomb? I guess? Yeah, Ratchet Mom? Ratchet Mom, yes. Also, Transgress the Mind is going to be good. We can get rid of... It doesn't really have... I didn't see anything in the way of creatures. So I think we can actually take out our removal package. So Victim of Night comes out. What else comes out as well? Nantuko Husk. I don't really want you in here. Mostly because... Yeah, mostly because it's not going to be cheap. We know we're going to be dealing with... I thought I had Doomblades in here as well. Apparently not. Because I don't want you in there because we're going to be potentially having a bunch of stuff destroyed. Took me a lot to say that. I think I'm going to take out all 3 of them. Take out all 3 Nantuko Husks. And go back like that. So, again, Transgress the Mind, stuff like this. We are aiming to blow up our opponent's stuff out of their hand so they can't play it. We will play first. Because I can't have another game like that. That was crazy. We are going to keep this because we are going to duress something out of his hand straight away. Ideally, one of his mana producers. So, bam, duress, goodbye. Let's see what we got. I say goodbye, but it's more like hello to your hand, which then I will say goodbye to a card in. So, what does our opponent have here? So, Anger of the Gods, that hurts a lot. Chandra also hurts a lot. Destroy 5 lines, yeah, that sucks. Fireword Batter Post. This guy. Dang. Dang, yo, dang. You may pay 1 return a basic land to your hand rather than pay for Border Post. So let's get rid of Border Post. That's going to slow him down faster because he can just play this. He would have been able to play it next turn. So yeah, let's slow our opponent down a little bit. And I think what we're going to do is probably... Next turn, Smugglers, Copter, Reassembling Skeleton. Oh, he has another Border Post. You lucky guy, you. Lucky, lucky guy. So it's going to be Smugglers, Copter into... Yeah, we don't have more hand disruption. So there you go. So next turn he's going to play the land and he's going to drop out one of those guys that produce mana as well. And if we can't rush out there fast enough, if we're not an aggro deck, we are kind of like this... Once we get to the mid-game, then we kind of do this cool stuff and like do a whole bunch of extra damage. We need to get there, though. So against a deck that is fast and can, like, once they get to the mid-game, they blow up everything, that's really hard. That is very hard. Okay. So... do I do Reassembling Skeleton or do I do Zulaport Cutthroat? I think we go Zulaport Cutthroat. Just because? And then we crew with him. Done. And swing for 3, loot. Begin combat. Go to attack. Attack with the Smuggler's Copter. And we're going to loot, because looting for us is good. Because we can throw stuff in the graveyard, we're okay with that. Blasting Station. Blasting Station actually is really good. So good, in fact, that I think we actually pitch our Reassembling Skeleton to the graveyard. Yeah. Okay. So if we can get the Blasting Station up and running, we can be doing a bunch of damage every single turn, and which would be nice. Which would be very nice. The one thing is, if and when he decides he wants to anger the gods, which could be now, which doesn't make sense. No, he's gonna go for the mana ramp. But if he angers the gods, anger of the gods, we are in a big problem. Man, another Border Post. Border Post Wildfire. I haven't seen this deck in a while. I know it exists, but I haven't seen it in a while. So it's kind of cool to see, kind of cool, crazy decks that you don't really see much anymore running around. Okay, so my first reaction is to play Blasting Station. I think that's what we're actually going to do. The other option is Diregraph Colossus, but I don't think Diregraph Colossus is going to be enough. Not enough in this situation. Because the card he has in his hand does 5 damage to everything. So this does 3 damage and exiles, which is still not enough for Diregraph. This does 5 damage, and each player stacks 5 lands. Super scary. Crew for 1. Definitely. Let me close this. And he has enough mana to cast. Does he have enough mana to cast that? Is it 5? It's a 5 drop? No. 5, 6, 7. It's a 7 drop. And 6 drop. So, we've seen kind of everything that's in his hand there. Go to combat. And swing with the smuggler's copter. Yes, we're going to loot. Is it okay? Hit yes. We want to loot. And we do want that. We really do want that. We're going to toss the Diregrass Colossus. Mostly because if we do play the other one, we might be able to get him to like 6 if we can get a couple more zombies in the graveyard. Which could be fun. I have a hunch though, as soon as we play a reassembling skeleton, probably as soon as we play this guy to the graveyard, he will probably blow it up. We're going to find out though. We are going to find out. Because I wouldn't be surprised if he angers the gods right away. As soon as we play Reassembling Skeleton. Mind you, as soon as we play Reassembling Skeleton, we can always sack stuff to Blasting Station. So that's a thing as well. My bigger concern is him playing more mana ramping stuff. like that. That's my concern right there. So he has enough to play Chandra now next turn. So that's good for him. Bad for us. We need to be faster. Faster, more aggressive. More swamps. Not necessarily what we want. But I think it's going to be the way it goes. So we play the Reassembling Skeleton. Blasting Station. This is always going to be yes. Always yield. We make you a creature. And we're going to see if he's going to anger the gods right now. So I'm willing to bet the answer is going to be yes. So go to combat. Oh no, anger the gods is a sorcery. So we should be able to get a bunch of value out of this. So Smuggler's Copter is going to swing in. Which is good. I always forget that anger the gods is a sorcery. Because I'm so used to like everything in Modern being instances. So everyone's like, okay, nope. It can happen on my turn. I need to play around it. And in this case, not so much play around it. Okay. So we're waiting on our opponent. Yes, we are going to loot. Another Zulaport Cutthroat, which is good. I do kind of want to keep another swamp. I do want to keep the swamp because we can potentially get more triggers, is what I'm trying to say. So pitch the Reassembling Skeletons. And then we ship it to our opponent's turn, I guess. I think that's the way we're going to go. Yeah. Okay. Going to our opponent's turn. If they decide to play Anger the Gods, we can Blasting Station, or we can do it on their end step. So that's probably what it's going to be. Blasting Station, sack, sack, boom, boom, boom. They're going to play Chandra, which is also a thing. Also a thing. And is he going to make tokens with Chandra? Yes, he does. No, he's going to X1, which is going to kill all this stuff. So we will Blasting Station. Choose a target creature or player. Might as well target our opponent. Sacrificing Reassembling Skeletons. And then we will bring the Reassembling Skeletons out of the graveyard. Back into play. Untapping. Dealing another 1 damage to our opponent. Sacking the Reassembling Skeletons again. And if only this actually triggered, early only could be untapped again. That would be amazing. And this is going to be always yield. And this is going to be always yield as well. Okay, so we're good. We're good. That doesn't really deal much damage with us. So we could always redirect to Chandra. Do I redirect to Chandra? I think the answer is yes, we redirect to Chandra. I should have redirected the last one to Chandra as well. Just to kill her. That would have been better for us. But I can do that on our turn. So that's what I will do on our turn, is redirect to Chandra. End step, Lord of the Accursed. Not really a card we need. But what? I think we play the Zulaport Cutthroat. Comes into play, which is good. It's going to untap this guy, which is indifferent to us. We make him a creature, go to combat. and swing for 3 at our opponent's face. And then we're going to... I may sack off the smuggler's copter. Maybe not. We'll see. It's gonna be a decision I have to make. Depends on... And we're attacking at our opponent. Ooh, we're playing with fire here, guys. Actually, I should have held up that swamp. Now that I think about it, I should have held up that 5th swamp because we know we can make us sack a whole bunch of swamps. So, or a whole bunch of lands. So, a little bit scary. If we draw another land, we're going to hold it up. Another blasting station. Doesn't really help us out. Do I... What? I can play Lord of the Cursed into the graveyard. I might as well pitch Lord of the Cursed. Okay. So that's 3 damage to our opponent's face. We play the reassembling skeletons, I think at instant speed out of our graveyard. Do I do that? Is that what I do? I think the answer is yes, because I don't want him to put a loyalty counter on Chandra. So... yeah, reassembling skeletons. Unfortunately, it untaps the blasting station, but we can't really do anything about that. And then we, to our opponent's face, sacrificing this guy. And yes, redirect to Chandra, killing Chandra, so he's not going to get the value off of her. And now my assumption is that he's going to do the equivalent of Worldfire to us. This is my assumption. We're about to find out. About to find out. I'm assuming it's the 5 damage. Everything dies 1. No, he doesn't have enough mana for that one. So might actual Worldfire. See if he has enough mana for it. Oh boy! Yep, it's Wildfire. Here we go. Things are dying. Things are dying. So, bam, 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 bam. Might as well sack all of our tapped lands. And then we go to our turn. If we draw another land, we are in the money. Smuggler's Copter is not another land. Ship it to our opponent's turn. If we get... well, we need one more land. We need a Gravecrawler. There's a bunch of things we can draw. We have a bunch of stuff we can draw, and then swing in with Smuggler's Copter. Oh, so close. We're so close. So, there's Chandra. Okay, well, we're at 25 life as well, so we have a little bit of a buffer. Not a ton of a buffer, but we do have a little bit of a buffer. I can always yield to that. I am not going to be able to respond to it, so no point in even trying. If we draw... so yeah, we're looking for land. Lord of the Cursed is not what we're looking for. So we're looking for land, Gravecrawler, Crypt Breaker. Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch we need, and if we get them, we can come back from this race. Again, it's not an easy one for us to win. Worldfire, ooh. Worldfire is hard for most decks. Even harder for a deck, pardon me, even harder for a deck that is a mono-black deck where we don't really have Artifact Destruction. We have a Land Disruption, and that's the best thing we have. Okay, going to our turn. Gravecrawler will do it. Gravecrawler. Yes. Making you, crewing you. Done, and go to combat. Begin combat step, yes. Attacking our opponent's face. And we are going to loot. Oh, good. Our opponent says it. Okay. Woo! That was a hard one, guys. That was so much thinking. I'm like, how do I deal with this? Again, we don't need any creature removal. Blasting Station, you are doing work here. Lord of the Cursed, there's so many things in here I just don't have any use for, like destroy target land doesn't help us or our opponent out. Does it actually help us out? Not really, no. We need... I think we literally have to run it back the way it is. I don't think there's anything else that we can put in right in these cards. I think we run it back the way it is. That's what it's going to be. Run it back the way it is. Okay, our opponent is going to be playing first. At least this is what I would assume. And yeah, I think this is actually a pretty freaking solid opening hand. We have a lot of land, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to play this a little bit differently. We're not going to just throw out all of our lands like I normally do. I'm going to try to go a little bit slower. A little bit slower. And our opponent has a no-lander? He went down to 6, or he went down to, yeah, went down to 6 cards. It's kind of rough. And I guess we play Cryptbreaker right off the get-go. Cryptbreaker is good. We can create zombies with Cryptbreaker as well. So, that is a thing. That is a thing. Okay, so our opponent, again, no lands? Ooh, rough. I say it's rough, but I am so amazingly okay with that right now. I am like, that is so fine for me. I am okay with that. And I think we go a couple turns before we really start getting damage in, but we're going to be leeching our opponent's life super fast. Begin combat, I'm going to turn that off for now. And go to combat, swing with you, ship it to our opponent's turn. Wow. I hope our opponent doesn't lose, though, by, like, just because they didn't draw land. Again, no land. They're discarding. Ouch. Super ouch. I'm even going to say ouch to our opponent. And then give him the unsmiley face. Sad face. Unsmiley face. What am I talking about here? Okay. Now we go, like, Blasting Station. So we have Blasting Station now. And go to combat, swing with everything. We're going aggro here. 2 damage a turn aggro. It's not really that aggro-y. But, I mean, we're going to start getting some good synergy. Because we're not going to play this last land. That's the one thing to keep note, is because we know our opponent potentially can blow up a lot of lands, we're not going to even try. And again, no lander for our opponent. Out. Ow, ow, ow. So, I can do the reassembling skeleton thing right now. Remember that time I was like, we're not going to play the land? We're going to play the land, guys. We're going to play land right now. Why? Because we're going to go Zulaport Cutthroat. And then we're going to play the Reassembling Skeleton. This is going to be always yes, always yield. We're going to play the Skeleton now. And we're going to start doing 3 damage a turn, extra 3 damage a turn from Blasting Station. Go to combat, swing in with everything. Our opponent, like, just owned us the first game. Like, we had no chance, and we barely won second game. Like, barely won. I was like, if I didn't, I mean, yeah, we barely won. Let's be honest, we barely won. If he had any artifact destruction, which he definitely has in the sideboard, he has to have in the sideboard, yeah, we would have been so freaking done. And we're going to Reassembling Skeleton on our opponent's end step. That's the plan, currently. As in, Blasting Station, I should say. Blasting Station on our opponent's end step. Our opponent scoops it. No land. Thanks for playing. Until next time, this has been Blasting Zombies against Worldfire. Yikes. Until next time, again, I'm Adrian. GiantMonsterGames Advent Calendar number 7? 8? I think it's 8. Definitely 8. Okay, ciao. Thanks for watching the GiantMonsterGames Advent Calendar. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe if you like this video and want to see more videos just like it. A huge shout out to all of the Patreon supporters. You guys are helping make videos like this, and if you want to pick this deck up, there is a link below with an affiliate link so you can grab this entire deck on MTGO.